Hello and welcome to another video from Between the Ropes TV. I'm joined as ever by Josh. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Looking forward to this video.
Yes, we've created a few, haven't we? These pre-records. We're going to go straight into this one. Talking about our fight of the year so far. Josh, I mean, there's been some great fights so far. Which one have you picked?
For me, there can only really be one. As much as there's been some great fights, I've gone Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. I've got to be honest, that was bar Fury White, which then the fight sort of, for me, it didn't really live up to it, to be totally honest. Taylor Serrano, for me, was the first fight. You know, when you're excited for a good 5-6 weeks before, you've got that date in your mind, you're looking forward to it, you can't wait. The promotion around it was brilliant. I mean, Jake Paul and Eddie Hearn, my God, did they work hard. They were on just about every UK and American media outlet that you can think of, various podcasts. You couldn't go on social media without an advert around Taylor Serrano, obviously. And let's not forget, the fight delivered, didn't it, as well, to be fair? It was, a 10-round.
That round of 5.
Exactly, yeah. There's so many highlights from that fight. And I think as well, for me, there was a lot of talk around Katie Taylor possibly being past it, her skills being on the decline. And she answered a lot of questions there. I mean, I know some people thought Serrano won. For me, I definitely thought Taylor won by sort of 2 rounds. I think I had her up by. And she answered a lot of questions, a lot of critics. And while she's not going to retire, I also think if she did retire off that, she's sort of done it all, hasn't she? She's took women's boxing from nothing. And Serrano's been just as big a part of that as well. Guinness World Record, what is it, 7 or 8 division world champion. So there's a lot of really big historic elements to that fight. And, and let's not forget as well, a female headline act selling out MSG, which
that was history in itself, mate. That was history in itself.
Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, and I know you've got the Jake Paul and Eddie Hearn, 2 of the possibly biggest self-promoters in the game, running around promoting it. But I think the women did a great job as well. Whereas with men, sometimes we'll see tables being thrown or pushing and shoving. It was a respectful build-up, wasn't it? Which made the size of it more impressive as well, because normally the big build-ups are when there's a bit of needle and a bit of bad blood in there. But there was just pure respect. Let's settle it on fight night. So for all those reasons, for me, and I'm a Katie Taylor fan, and she got the win, so it leaves a nice taste in the mouth. Katie Taylor Serrano.
Yeah. Again, you can't really argue with that. I'm going to go with my one. I'm going to go for Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan. That fight that happened in March this year. For me, that's a fight that had it all. You had 2 knockdowns. You had both fighters being cut. And then you had the knockout win in the 12th round. It was a fascinating swing fight. Michael Conlan dominating that fight earlier on. He started that fight in the orthodox position. He looked really, really comfortable. He had his hands down. He looked really, really quick on his feet. And then he switched to southpaw, and he caused Lee Wood all sorts of problems. He dropped Lee Wood at the end of round 1, I believe. And Lee Wood was shaky. He was shaky because it was at the very end, and he got up. He went to his corner straight away, and he had that time to recover. It's one of those, had it happened at the very start of the round, Conlan looked electric. He could have jumped all over him. In the second round, he started to pepper Lee Wood. Even those left hands, Lee Wood just didn't see coming, and he hurt Lee Wood a couple of times in the second round. I didn't start to give Lee Wood a round until round 4, where Lee Wood started to land some heavy shots from his right hand. I gave him round 4. Again, 5 and 6 I gave to Conlan. Round 7 and 8, the fight started to turn. Conlan started to slow down a little bit, and he's getting caught more and more often. Again, it was the right hand that was doing the work from Lee Wood on the inside. So as Conlan was tiring and he was getting drawn in, but then Conlan, he was at his evasive best around 9 and 10. He got caught and he got dropped on round 11. It was a bit of a controversial knockdown. Some people say it was a slip. I just think it was a beautiful short left hook what caught him. And for me, the whole excitement of it, the fact it was in Nottingham, you could hear the Nottingham crowd. It was like a football match.
Yeah.
And it was a knockout, and it was sad to see Colin falling out the ropes. But for me, it had almost like a throwback to Carl Froch. The power, the behind on the cards. If Colin hadn't have, at that point, I had Colin winning by 3 rounds. But yeah, it was a fascinating fight, and I would like to see Colin win a world title and see that run back.
No, I'd agree, actually. I think, that was a spectacular fight. And it's interesting, actually, mate, the point that Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, DAZN have took a bit of flack for not quite delivering on what they set out to do this year. Yet, we've both picked DAZN fights.
For fight of the year. Exactly. And I'm one of those that have given DAZN and Matchroom criticism. But yeah, you're right. That's really pertinent to note that one. So, yes, guys, don't forget to leave comments on what your opinions are, whether you agree with Josh and I on our fights of the year. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. And we've got loads more content to come in the next coming week for you guys. Take care.